What's up, guys? It's Nora. I'm back today to share with you guys something that Jacob and I have decided on doing, and I want to share that process of how we decided on this. Unfortunately, the original footage that I had filmed on the day that we decided it is completely gone. That was my mistake. I completely impulsively wanted to make some space on my SD card and completely wiped out that video. So I no longer have that video. But most of it was filmed on my phone, which is the footage that you'll see after this video. A completely different day, I think like 5 or 6 weeks ago, and you're just gonna have to bear with me on the beginning of this because I have an idea of what was said in that footage that I deleted, but I don't really know exactly what was said. So bear with me. Like 5 or 6 weeks ago, Jacob and I had this conversation at night when we were supposed to be going to bed, but we were kind of just stuck up talking, which happens. And to preface the story, Jacob, since she has been like 16, has always kind of had this thought of what if I didn't live in the United States. So we currently live in the United States, in the state of Maine, and he's always kind of wondered, like, should I go to a different country? I mean, there's a lot of things that he doesn't like about the United States, the way the government is run, all that. I mean, there's a lot of it. Our government and the way our country runs is, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, but like, just, yeah. But Jacob has always had that thought in the back of his mind of, what if I did live in another country? What if I decided to, as an adult, live there like forever, not just like go and like be there for a year or two. This specific night, went on a rant about how all the things that I'm like really irritated about with the government, just like random things that are happening in the news and laws that they're trying to pass in different states, and just how I feel like if there was another country that would make me so much happier, why can't I just go and live in it? Which I can. I just need to make that choice. So Jacob and I kind of had this conversation like for an hour or two. Usually we go to bed by like 9:30, 10, and we were still up at like 10:30 going on 11. So he and I were like, hell, what if we just like did it? What if we moved to another country? What if we found a country that we liked better, that we wanted to live in forever? We kind of got talking on like how excited we were and like the countries that we'd like possibly consider and where we'd go and what we were looking for in these countries. And it ended up being that we were so stuck up on the thought, and we were so excited about the thought of living in a better country than the one that we live in, that we both were like, well, what if we like went and did research? Like, what if we like discovered like and kind of learned throughout this research that we're doing a specific country that we'd want to live in? Like, if we could live in one, which one would we pick? And then he said to me, well, if you want, you can go and research it. And I was like, well, I want to, but like, you're going to tell me that you don't want to research it? And he was like, well, yeah. So I was like, you know what? We have an hour. So we got out of bed after laying there since 9 p.m. Like, literally had been laying and talking for 2 hours, and got up and did research, and we looked at categories, and we are going to explain all of the things that, like, the categories and the top things that we were looking for in a country in a video that we've already filmed and will be posted after this one, so you guys can go and watch that one to see the decision. But we ended up picking Sweden. My SD card was gonna run out of space, so I'm on my phone now to film the rest of this. But Sweden, we picked Sweden for multiple reasons. The other top country that I think I'd consider, well, we kind of went hand in hand with Sweden and Denmark. Sweden does rank better in certain categories than Denmark does. Finland, like I think you completely come out on top compared to Sweden and Denmark, but your climate sucks and I don't want to be cold all the time. So you're not what we're choosing. But Sweden has really great healthcare, cheaper school system now. It's not free to go to school there, but considerably cheaper. Jacob would like to get his master's degree, so that's another thing that he's looking into, is pushing off going and getting that. Happiness, education, they just rank really high in a lot of categories. They are considerably on the higher side of cost of living. That is the only thing that kind of sucks. But compared to rent in the US, it's actually cheaper to rent in Sweden for the average price of rent, which is really interesting. It is more expensive to buy a house, but why would we go over there and just randomly buy a house when we don't exactly know what area we want to live in? I would like to go and work in a Swedish hospital on a children's unit. Again, we're gonna have to learn some Swedish. That'd be really hard. The other thing is we looked up how to get work permits. It's also way harder to become a citizen of Denmark than it is in Sweden. That's something that we're gonna take into high consideration. And also Denmark is also a very much farmland where I like the mountains, I like skiing, I like more access to that kind of stuff. Yes, they're practically right next to each other and there's bridges that connect each other, but we like more of Sweden. So I think we are gonna, like, Sweden is the one that we focused on and looked in. We aren't just, like, gonna get up and, like, go by any means. We would like to plan things out. It's about a 10 to 12 hour flight, depending on what plane you take, what company, whatever. It's about $500 there for each person, which is considerably cheap compared to other places. We do, if we get a work permit, I would have to get a work permit. Jacob would have to get a study permit. I would have to get a job offer before I was to go over there and take the actual job and get my permit, because I have to, like, show that I'm gonna have a job once I get over there. Jacob just has to prove that he is gonna go over there to school. We'd have to take the bunnies. That's the other thing, is that we're concerned about the bunnies. But we'd have to take either, I read online, United Airlines, Finnair, or Germanic Air, some Germany air company, because our bunnies, we can't, like, put them in a cargo hold. They have to be in a very controlled air environment, and we'd have to have them practically in the cabin with us. We can only fly into Gothenburg or Stockholm if we were to fly in with the bunnies. They don't have to quarantine, luckily, in a facility. That was another thing, is that was really concerning to me, is that I know in other countries they have to like quarantine or isolate in a facility for 14 days, but in Sweden you can do it in their homes. All you have to do is, like, you have to go, like I said, into those certain airports, go see a vet that looks at all that stuff and make sure they're all good to come in the country, and then we can just take them and isolate them in home, which is where they are going to live and stay anyway. We are a little concerned that the flight would very much stress them out. I have no doubt in my mind that it would. It's not something we can particularly help, though. If we were to move over there, we would not definitely rehome them, because we love them to death and they're our little buns. It's also, like, we don't want to go, like, we don't want to also, like, fully commit to it and be like, we're going there, not coming back. We also like that they have the work-life balance. We like that they have 25 days a year where you're free to do whatever you want. That doesn't include holidays, too. So 25 days a year that we could come over to the United States and visit everybody. So we're not saying, like, we're going over there and never coming back. We want people to come visit us. We want to come back and visit them. But the other cool thing is that if you live in Europe, you get to travel in all other countries, and you get to go on holidays in other countries, whereas, like, United States, you go on holidays, it's really expensive, travel a lot, and then it's kind of the same scene everywhere you go. Whereas in Europe, you're going to completely different countries and completely different cultures and completely immersing yourself, which is way more exciting and cool. And we've gone to all the popular places in the United States. We've done Florida, I've done Texas, I've been to California. The only other place that I could think that I'd want to go would be Hawaii. And I'd want to see Canada, but again, we have the rest of our lives to come and see those places, so I'm not really concerned about not being able to see them. It's just an exciting opportunity that, like, it's something that we really want to do. It's something, like, we just want to live in a country where we're happy with our government, we're happy and we have the same supports and beliefs that other people do. They like the work-life balance. I mean, work-life balance here is really tough in the United States. People are always in debt. The whole healthcare situation, especially with my health problems, I don't want to be paying bills the rest of my life. I mean, I will pay, I'm sure, some bills at a much reasonable price, because I can't help that I'm chronically ill. So that is pretty much it. We haven't spoken to his parents. We haven't spoken to my mother or father. We are going to talk to his parents tonight about the idea. Our thoughts on it are, we do want to get married. We are about to sign our marriage contract with the venue that we are going to go with. We would like to get married. We're going to get married in September. So for Jacob to start school, he most likely would then start in January. So we'd have to be there by January. So it's going to be a lot of planning, like, all kind of at once, and maybe a little stressful. But that's when we'd go over. I'm also, if, like, we are, like, seriously considering this and telling people, and we get, like, full support from everybody, then I'm not going to buy a Tesla. I'm going to wait until I decide where I want to live. I'd probably lease a car, whether it be a Tesla or another electric car. At the moment, that'd save me a lot of money. If I was to do that, I'd be able to pay off my loans by the end of the year, and then I also wouldn't be in debt. So that's exciting, because I'd love to not be in debt. I'd love to just, like, have a clean slate, pay off my shit. I could have an entire year of saving up and not having to pay any loans or anything. That'd be really exciting that I could use towards getting over there. We'd have to, of course, sometime soon start learning Swedish. I spoke to my friend Sophie, because I knew Sophie would be the one that'd be like, freaking go for it, and would like understand where I'm coming from. We're not like leaving our family again. Like, that's the other thing, is if I was to live in this country and I was to say my mom's dying, I need to go take care of things for a week and I have a week off of work. That's the other thing. We don't get criticized for needing to take a sick day. If we don't feel well, they're like, oh, no problem. I hope you get better. It's not in the United States where it's like, are you kidding me? Can you really come in? Like, I don't want to live in a country that does that. I just want to be so happy in another country, and I can see Jacob and I having so many more opportunities and friendship and experiences and memories in life if we just are not in this country. Which, I can still come back and have experiences in this country with our family, but I think this might be something we're going to do. I think it is. I think Jacob and I are both like, we're down to do it. It'll be hard with like leaving our family, but we're both excited about the opportunity. Until next time, when I dig out this video and attach it to some other development, I might say how like our talks with our family went. Our family has no clue that we've even been talking about this. They're going to be completely blindsided 100%. I think my parents are going to be like, but they might also be supportive of it. I'm thinking of it as like a study abroad. Almost like, you know, kids in college like study abroad for a year or 6 months. I never did that. I never went on a European trip. So you know what? This is me making up for it. And same with Jacob. Jacob's never been to Europe either. So we're really excited. And I've been thinking about it all day long. And I've been researching it and looking up House Hunters International, like a hospital I want to work at. And it's going to be a lot, 100%. Like, no doubt about it. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a long process. It's going to be a hard process. But I want to do it. Update, guys. My parents didn't take it too bad. They took it exactly how I thought they would take it, which is my dad has, around the age that I was, traveled countries, gone to universities in other countries. So he and my mom were like, go try it out. We'd like to visit this summer and see if it's something that we'd like. They are all for it and all in support of it because it's a pretty safe country as well. Jacob's parents were a little more sad, a little more visibly sad, but that's okay because it's kind of a complete, like, surprise to them. Whereas my parents are like, Nora, you make, like, weird decisions like that anyway. That's how tonight went. We are going to tell our friends and get that process figured out. I'm figuring out, like, what I'm doing with, like, my car situation. I'll probably pay a little bit. I'll pay, like, my loan off in the next few days. Like, I'll start doing $1,000 a day. I think I can charge that to my card. Maybe I'll do $750. I don't know what my limit on my debit card is, unfortunately, but I'd like to pay off one of my nursing loans that is $6,000, and then pay off the rest of my loans and start saving from there. Oh, and, you know, pay for that wedding that we said we'd, have.